we'll start with just some question about the process of making the film. I know you wrote a screenplay for a movie, which is this film, and it was done before October 7th. And then October 7th happened, and you decided to rewrite the film to a certain extent. So if you could talk about what changed after that, what was the initial idea of the film, and was it that different?
Yes, hi again. Actually, it wasn't that different. I mean, the film, as Mark said, this film was born twice, so he also died once. But he was born first about as a movie about I would say nowadays society, or nowadays world, but maybe all the movies in a way are about nowadays world. But it was born as an attempt to talk or to show on screen this moment in time, like a moment when the triumph of most of the bad things, like of vulgarity and stupidity and this admiration of money, of power, getting countries that get more and more authoritarian. As all of this is already an evidence, in a way, how can one live in an impossible world, or in a world that is so different from what you could aspire to dream about? Sensitive soul in an unsensitive world. The place of artist in a moment that being an artist isn't anymore something that has followed by any sense of glamour, real importance. So I mean, these themes, these ideas were in the heart of the film. Actually, the beginning point was this painting by Georges Grosz that is shown in the film as a kind of pillars of the society. How would look societies that these are their elites? So this was the starting point, and actually this was something kind of universal. I mean, it's not specific to Israel. There wasn't any particularity. In a way, it's true for Tel Aviv, but it's true for many other cities. With the 7th of October, I think that all of this just maybe, of course, gained another level of like suddenly. I mean, it gained another level of urgency, maybe, but urgency, but also and of gravity, and it got a kind of course, Israeli particular, the Israeli particular aspect. I mean, in Israel, it's not the death of art; it's the death of people. But at the same time, I think that it remained more or less this. I mean, a lot of things remain the same. I mean, this main basic thing about yes and no, about the incapacity, the inefficiency in saying no, and the incapacity or the moral incapacity in saying yes. So and even though I think that in a way the lack of the film is that it wasn't created, that it existed in a way as a script before the 7th of October, because I think that this is what avoided the film from becoming a subject film, a topic film, because I can imagine maybe if I would have done this movie just after the 7th of October as a direct response, it would have become a film about it. And I feel that now the film is a film about this moment in time. And inside enters, penetrates, slips inside the war, the 7th of October. But it's not a film about it, It's a film about life, living with the horror, inside the apocalypse.
But also, yesterday you also talked about how you still think it's a love story at the heart, which was also there all along.
It's a love story. No, it begins with a kiss. It ends with two people holding hands, going nowhere together, like in a Chaplin film. And basically, I think you watch the movie. Inside the movie, there are 10,000 genres. There's like a musical and musical comedy, or maybe musical tragedy, and war film. I think that at the very end, it's a film that is composed from two films. In a way, from love film and a political horror film or war film, and that there is a kind of constant battle, constant conflict between these two movies. And more the film advances, more the love film is fading. In the same way, I think that, in a way, all the film is based on this tension between love and death, or between the beautiful and the horrific, or the charming and the horrific. And I think that more the film is advancing, more everything that is beautiful or might be beautiful is polluted by everything that is terrible. As if while at the beginning of the film, there are all these intimate gestures of this couple, and this guy who's showing this, like taking his son for the first time to the sea, and all sort of moments that are full of grace, but I think that more the movie is advancing, more everything is polluted. Everything is polluted, and I think that in a way, there is, for me, if there is this departure at the end, I think that you live in a way, the ultimate reason to live is to live a place where beauty is impossible, where there are not anymore even like tiny hidden corners of beauty, where everything is perverted. Where the love film is losing to the horror film or to the war film. But for me it's from the first shot, because like the movie begins with a kiss, and it's a very intense kiss, and it's a kiss full of passion, and then we go backward and we see that it's not a kiss, it's a spectacle. So it's not exactly a kiss; it's a spectacle. It's like and it's not exactly love. It's a love that you sell in order to get and to be remunerated. And then it's a spectacle to whom? To the pillars of society, to the elites of society. And which elites of society? For instance, the military elite. And what the military elite is doing? They are singing Elvis, like the most romantic song on earth. But how they sing it? As if it was a war song. So I think that this from the very beginning there is this interior conflict inside the film.
Are there any questions? Yeah.
I have two questions. When we see Gaza, is that actual footage of Gaza? And did you shoot actually there, like from far, when he talks to the woman in the car? And the second is, the camera is kind of always very close, and there is not many establishing shots. And why did you choose to do that?
Yeah, like when we were shooting, yeah, there is they're heading, they're driving, they're getting closer and closer to Gaza, and we did the same. So like, with each day, it was like a 3 days shooting. So with each day, the closer you get, the better you hear the louder you hear the bombs, and the better you see the smoke. Till we got in the fourth day to this hill that the soldiers call Love Hill. And we went on the hill. It was a closed military zone, so we couldn't have authorization, but we did it. So we decided to do it like a kind of guerrilla style. So we went on this hill where it was a very reduced team, and we were like maybe crew. I mean, we were like 5 or 6, like the minimum needed. And we went one by one. It was like a kind of guerrilla operation, wearing like all sort of sandy clothes, in order to. But it didn't work. I mean, the Israeli army wasn't surprised twice. I mean, so like 2 or 3 minutes after we started the shooting, I got a phone call from my assistant, because the rest of all the production team stayed downhill, like telling me, listen, the army is there, they're encircled the hill, it's finished, there's a military vehicle. So I told him, okay, you know what, I mean, try to negotiate and talk slowly and use like very, very elliptic and complicated and long sentences, and maybe we'll gain some minutes. And so he was like, and we were like hysterical, trying to shoot everything because the scene is so important. And then like time passes, and nothing is happening. So maybe after, 40 minutes, 50 minutes, because I was happy, but I was kind of curious. So I called him and I told him, tell me, what's going on? So he told me, listen, we have like the huge luck this time. It turns out that the officer, which is like the officer is like 20 years old or something. He was curious. He asked, so what are you doing there on the hill? What are they doing? And he said, they are shooting a movie. And the officer says, I really love movies and everything. Like when the war will end, I'll go to more often to cinema. And then he told them, and then he asked him several questions about the shooting. And then he told him, there is one question that I always ask myself: how do you know where to place the camera? Which is maybe like the biggest question of cinema, I guess. So then each crew member came to the officer and gave him his, explained to me his vision, and so actually we were like technicians, but the real cinephile thing happened downhill between this officer and this, and for 7 hours they were discussing, they should invite him to the Viennale. No, I mean, but so it was, and meanwhile we were shooting this scene, and it was a day, I think, I can't even tell if it was a day of intense bombing or not, but there were endless smoke rising from Gaza that day. I think there's something in this movie because when I decided to modify the script and so you ask yourself how you do a movie in the middle of all of this, in the middle of the horror. And the movie is I think a kind of excessive fiction film. I mean the answer of the movie is not by trying to create a document like testimony, like clear testimony, or the way it's choosing to witness this specific moment in history is by going to an excessive fiction film. And then inside, I think the movie suddenly shifts from this hyper fiction cinema to the thing itself, to the rawness of the reality. And this is for me maybe the most I don't know, evident moment of this gesture, you know, when with a camera movement you go from the Israelis to the Palestinians, and from the fiction to documentary, and from the love to death. I do like this because it's like panoramic, like from right to left. Yeah, I don't remember the second question.
It was about the camera work.
Yes, you know, I guess it's for me it was like it's not. I mean, whatever. I'm pretty instinctive. I work a lot on the shooting, but my decisions at the end are pretty instinctive, I think. So now you know I analyze it backwards. So whatever I'm saying now might sound reasonable, but maybe it's totally disconnected from what. But if I try to analyze it retrospectively, I think that it's really connected to this feeling that there wasn't any distance. There wasn't any distance between the movie and the thing that it shows or describes or talks or like a movie that is shot. I mean, you know, I felt it in a way. The movie, like usually, you know, there is the world and there is the set, and here the movie existed all over, all the time, during the week, during the weekend, while we were shooting, after, before. Everything was like shouting, everything was like talking, everything was like singing and dancing, and everything was horrible, but also, you know, there is a strange, of course, kind of obscene and pervert, but morbid vivacity, you know, when you in such moments, like everything is awakened and everything is dying. So I think that this feeling of zero distance, maybe it's connected to this cinematography.
There's a question here. Sure, I can repeat it.
It wasn't released yet. Like there wasn't. We couldn't find a distributor, but we're gonna release it. Strangely enough, but we could. But we will release it ourselves. It's on the 1st of January.
Oh, and I should also mention the film will be released in Vienna on December 12th. You'll be back here December 10th for.
Here we found that the distributor is standing somewhere there, I think. You can clap. But we showed it once. It was shown once in Jerusalem Film Festival. Like the head of the director of the festival, he saw it in Cannes. He's a courageous guy. He loved it. He decided to show it, not only to show it, but to make a kind of event around the movie, like to make a debate. And a few days later, he got a letter from ministers from the government who called him not to show the movie and said that it's a betrayal and collaboration with.
Even though they gave you money to make it, just to be clear.
Yeah,
they gave you money to make it, and then it's like no, and they gave money to all your films, and they decide, look, maybe it's the last time. Go ahead.
Maybe it's the last time. Yeah. And also the Minister of Culture, which is really total idiot. He said that for a true patriot like him, this movie is an insult or something like this. But they insisted, and the movie was screened. And it was a pretty tense moment because we heard all sorts of rumors about extreme right groups that were. At the end, there were only 2 people in the screening that started to shout and to curse all the other spectators. But then they left, and the screening was very powerful. Was very, very powerful because what I felt, and then people were said more or less. I mean, a lot of reactions went in this direction, but you could always also feel it that, while sometimes abroad, outside of Israel, people, they describe the movie in a positive way, but they describe it as excessive, as crazy, as surrealistic. I think that for the Israelis, the movie was like neo-realism, you know. I mean, like they felt that there is no 1 millimeter between themselves and the screen, so it was, yeah.
It struck me from watching the film that there was a kind of like fearlessness or a freedom in the writing and the filmmaking. And as I think you were kind of getting at a little bit, we're living in this time of censorship and from sort of every side. So obviously from the right, from the government censorship, but also from the left, this sort of question of what right do we have to make art about this thing that's happening? And I'm wondering about your relationship to that question and how you kind of overcame that, or if you think about that.
You know, I mean, today when I look at it, and you know, with the perspective of the release, of course, you know, myself, I can raise, I think, in 10 minutes, 20 arguments, 20 theoretical arguments against the film. Like to say why the film is problematic from 10,000 possible angles. I mean, it's endless because you can. You know, there's this word, for instance, problematic, that you can add to almost each and every gesture, and of course to more explicit gestures. So I think that when I did it, I was just, there's something, I was totally elsewhere in my head. I mean, there was a lot of pressure around the film. Also, I mean, the producers, which took a real risk, they were concerned by this and by that, and there were a lot of questions. You know, this order of questions raised around: should we show this? Should we show that? Shouldn't we? If we show this, maybe we should. I was totally elsewhere. I think that the madness was a kind of shield, the madness of the situation. I mean, I was feeling like as if I'm in, you know, like Earth became hell, apocalypse all around, doing probably my last film, maybe last film ever. I mean, I was really in another. So all these reflections that I guess might be. I mean, I guess it might be very. Yeah, of course, it can easily create all sort of form of auto-censorship, or suddenly you need to balance things. I don't know if you know this beautiful sentence of Godard about objectivity. That objectivity, why objectivity in cinema, I think, or in TV is not. He said like objectivity. It's 5 minutes for the Jews, 5 minutes for Hitler. So I mean, all these forms of making it balance and making it could have. I think it could have ruined the film. But I think that I was in a kind of on a different planet, which was the real planet, like the planet where things were happening. So yeah. So I didn't hear this noise. I mean, yeah. For me, it was like kind of white noise, and I totally. Yeah, I wasn't also thinking in such a way. I mean, I wasn't even thinking about the film as a political film. I mean, I felt that again. I mean, it's like the world was talking to me all the time. That's what I felt, and I just had to express this voice. And I felt that this voice is that the voice that I'm expressing is the true one, and I still think that way.
Person over there is last question. We're running out of time, so one more question.
I saw lots of references, like inter-Israeli culture references, and on the other hand, I felt that I have to say that I speak as an Israeli watching the film here. I felt that it really has this representation of a very particular moment as an Israeli in this time. And I was wondering whether you had in mind the Israeli audience while making the film, or international audience, or whether you think about it at all?
I don't think about it at all. No. I mean, I guess that the audience is humanity, or maybe myself. I mean, there's a moment that you want to believe that it's a bit the same thing. I mean, no, I wasn't thinking about it at all. Also, I must say that well, till now there was only one screening in Israel, as I said. But from my experience with my previous films, which are not so different at the end. I'm different, but on this sense, not so different. And I think it will be the same with this one. At the end, the way they are looked upon in Israel is not so different than the way they are looked upon elsewhere. Because, I think that at the end, almost the only real provocation or debatable thing is the form. In my opinion, and I think that people react. I mean, I don't know what you thought, but some people really love it. Some people are furious. Doesn't matter, which is of course great, but okay. But I think they react at the end to the form, which of course you want to believe that it's also the content. So I don't see to which extent. Yeah, of course, Israelis look at it a little bit differently, but not so differently. I think people. I think that people project on the film a lot of things that they are familiar with, and the film goes. I want to believe beyond the Israeli-Palestinian, the Gaza issue, which is a big issue. But in order to talk only about political issue, I don't think that you need to make a film. I mean, you don't need to spend, I don't know, 4 million euros to say something about a political issue. There are better strategies. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Thanks.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thanks to Nadav.
Thanks.
And again, remember, December 12th, opening this theater.